Now for today's coronavirus headlines. Here's what we're tracking for you right now. Texas reported 8,800 new cases yesterday, and for the second day in a row, the state also reported more than 300 deaths. We're going to dive deeper into those local numbers in just a minute. Today, Dr. Anthony Fauci will testify on Capitol Hill as cases surge nationwide. Overseas, scientists in the UK are ramping up a vaccine trial. They plan to give it to hundreds of people after a small trial there showed no problems. Meanwhile, rent is due tomorrow and thousands of people could face eviction as they struggle to make ends meet right now. But help could be on the way. Michelle Choi explains.
Steph, times are tough, especially for those struggling to pay the rent during this COVID-19 pandemic, which is why a second rental assistance program will soon be available for Houstonians. Mayor Sylvester Turner is set to announce the details later this afternoon. Remember back in May, Houston's first program was in incredibly high demand. The $15 million set aside to help Houstonians pay rent was gone in less than 90 minutes, and a lot of folks struggled to get through online. At the time, the mayor said the website was overwhelmed, and the City of Houston Housing Department acknowledged the funds were nowhere near enough to meet everyone's needs. Well, the second program comes as a $600 bonus unemployment benefit many have been relying on expires. And just last week, a federal eviction moratorium also expired. That program helped up to 30% of all renters nationwide. Details about Houston's second rental assistance program will be announced at 3 this afternoon. We'll be streaming that announcement live on khou.com. Guys, back to you.
Okay, Michelle, and as those extra unemployment benefits end, lawmakers are still at odds over coronavirus relief. There's a difference of $2 trillion in the plans introduced by Democrats and Republicans. Right now, jobless claims are rising and the money to fund desperately needed programs has run out. Secretary of Treasury Steven Mnuchin told reporters they're still miles apart on a deal. However, they can agree on one thing, a second round of stimulus checks.
There are two numbers we want to talk about with you this morning. 322 is the number of deaths in Texas just reported yesterday, and 200 is the number of deaths reported in Houston so far. Here's Chris Costa.
322 deaths, a record number for Texas. It's the second day of at least 300 new deaths in our state. Remember, DSHS changed how it collects COVID-19 death data at the beginning of this week. Now they rely on death certificates, which the state says take an average of 9 days to complete, instead of waiting for local health departments to finish their investigations. In the city of Houston, 200 deaths from the virus have been reported in July alone, 46% of the city's total, and the month still is not over. The city reported more than 1,300 cases Thursday, the second day in a row of at least 1,000 cases. The last time the city reported that many was 12 days ago. Mayor Turner says the city's positivity rate is still at 23%, meaning out of every 5 people tested, at least 1 is positive.
This is the month when we turn this around, not just in our hospitals, but we return this virus, we turn it around in our communities. But it's going to take us all to be very intentional in getting it done.
But there are some encouraging trends. Hospitalizations in the Texas Medical Center are showing a downward trend over the last 2 weeks. So is our statewide positivity rate. It's down to 12.09%. And over the last 10 days, our average daily new cases across the state are headed in the right direction too. For H-Town Rush, I'm Chris Costa.